are now listening to Empty Out the Clip.
This is for grandmas that pass knowledge down through stories and songs. Most are now with us no longer. We pay homage to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We pay homage to you. Yeah, yeah.
Born and raised in the 2024, in a time way before technology connected us all. I was raised about.
Malo tau mau hoata ni, malo lava ki he podcast, Empty Out the Clip, the UTC, ko hoku ingo ko Leti, the Ace of Faith, joining me, ko hoku toko uas. We got the butcher, Eddie, Fefe Hake, brother.
Saipe, malo.
Man, it's good to see your face again. And the other toko, the man who needs the introduction, the man who makes it all happen, to produce the cams, Fefe Hake also.
Happy Tongan Language Week. What's up, boys? Let's get this one done.
Shout also, cause it's not well, he's not feeling a bit booky this afternoon. But you know the Joe boys, we get to some shout outs. Let's go produce the cams.
Yo, just make a shout out to everyone listening in to the WesWes Network. All our content is on there on YouTube and Spotify. I forget to mention we're on all the other podcast platforms. So, you know, if you're on Apple Podcasts or even iHeartRadio, we're on that as well. So yeah, check out our. If you can't get hold of YouTube, you know you can always listen into the podcast too. So yeah, shout outs to everyone that's listening. Shout outs to you guys for holding it down on the EOTC. And shout outs to all the hosts on the WesWes Network, especially Eric and all the other boys that jump on the channel 1 through 5 podcast, talk about movies and TV.
Siki, yeah. Shout out to my usuals, Westside Fitness, Mainga. Special shout out and happy birthdays to Frank Marseille, Watine McClutchy, and Jordan Fruin. They all celebrated their birthdays recently. And shout out to all the listeners and everyone that watches us on all our platforms. Alofa aku and happy Tongan Language Week. Sick.
Shout also, oh man, first massive condolences to also Kainu, who had his wife, Whawhetai passed away. The Afualo family. Condolences to you, my bro, and also to the twin girls. Very sad time for such a strong social media presence lady. He obviously loves the shit out of her girls, man, and sad to hear of her passing. Another shout outs to the old Kaiser. Obviously, Chucky's a bit under the weather, fighting a fever. Get back on the horse and start swinging those hands, bro. Fight it off. Hope you feel better soon. Another shout outs to my bro up north, up in Brisbane, to my toko Paiateo. Malo pito toko for the phone calls, bro, and the messages, man. I appreciate your heart. Another one's to my doctors, Brandon and Dollar. Obviously, we caught up yesterday for our Saturday rituals. Appreciate the time, boys. Another one's to my other docs, Dion Bricks. Obviously, had his boy Josiah fly in to play in this Māoris tournament. Happy we went well, Neff. Wishing you all the best, and hopefully we get to see you when you get back to Oz. Another one's to my friend who I've not seen since probably 3 years out of high school, and that's to my toko Alfred Holo. Man, caught up with him during the week. Appreciate you, my bro, and love the message. Just keep the same energy, toko, and we'll catch up again soon. And my last shout out to all the viewers and all the listeners, man. Appreciate you guys commenting and obviously sharing a thought of us and how we can always improve this platform and the sound quality for our for your ears. So yeah, man, like producer Cam said, you can find us on iHeart, obviously on Spotify. You can also find us on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Producer Cams usually uploads each week. You also find us on Facebook. It's a private page. Just send in the requests, answer a few questions, and security will hopefully let you in. Seki boys, man, this week has been funny, man. I had, you know what, it's when we talk about leave, and then I end up having a mighty day, and then end up having 5 days off. How is it possible? I have no idea. But I don't know if I had gout in my knee, but shucks, man. All I know is God is good, and it's good to be back on the show with you guys. Starting with you, Eddie, how's your week been, bro?
Yeah, no, because I work 6 days, so I was just getting back to that rhythm after having like a long time off. So slowly the body's getting used to it. Man, it's pretty busy week this week. Man, shout out to the customers that remain loyal. Like, man, it's getting pretty hard out there, and people are still coming in and doing their shopping with us. So, man, all of us to you guys all. Boxing on Monday with one of the girls at the gym, Inez, and I never want to fight with some of the girls in the gym, bro. Like honestly, like I pad for them, and man, it hurts. And then I partnered with PJ on Friday, so that was really good. I've had a good catch up and whatnot, but nah, just been man, just been hitting the Bible a lot this week, eh? And finishing the series called The Wire, so my time's pretty eaten up between those two. Haven't really watched any sports this week, eh? So missed a lot of games, but I've seen a lot of results, some surprises out there. So man, it's pretty good for like competition. Yeah, no, just trying to catch up with a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. So it's definitely on my bucket list this week to try and meet with some of the boys. So yeah, no, it's been a good week, productive week, but busy. How about you, Cams?
I think I had a similar week to you, Let's, because
Yo,
man, I was sick as well. You know, it was funny we had the podcast with that topic with the annual with the sick leave, bro. Man, I felt the itch on last Friday. Yeah, man, and I was just kind of had the itch last episode too. But when it was Monday, man, I dropped there, man. I had the flu, full on flu, man. It took me out for the next 3 days. So yeah, I took 3 sick days in a row. And it was funny because when I rang up sick on Wednesday, everyone at work was saying, "Oh, just make sure you come back 100%. If you're like 95%, just stay home." But man, I was bored, eh? So I went to work Thursday. I was probably 98%. But in hindsight, when I think back, I should have just stayed home. But nah, man, yeah, it's that time of the year. I think it's been friggin' cold too.
Yo,
So the cold, having the flu. Still managed to get some podcasts done during that time. These are meditating and all that through some snippets on social media. Man, I figured, man, like these snippets are getting not hard, but man, just trying to find the right snippet in each of the podcasts. Because man, there's a lot of gems, and you got to choose which is the best one to put up there. And it's kind of hard, but just gotta get through it. So yeah, man. Yeah, went back to work Thursday and Friday, and same old. Just weekend, just staying. Oh, during my sick days, just watching a lot of TV, catching up some sport from the previous week, and all that. So yeah, had a easy week, I guess.
nice.
I'm gear away, man. Oh, bro, nah, yeah, like you, Cam, bro, battling the cold, bro. I don't know what it is, man. Even when you have a hot ass shower before you get out and go to work, it's like, nah, bro. And this is the nighttime, bro. So it's like, it's in maruru. But nah, yeah, I had 5 days off because I had the weekend off, and I was supposed to be back on Monday, and then I had Tuesday, Wednesday off. But bro, yeah, my leg, I don't know what was wrong with my leg, man. It wasn't too good. Like I only probably managed to sort of stand up properly like Wednesday afternoon. But I managed to get in a trip down to the WesWes pools because I had kept my weight off my leg because my calf was starting to get tight too. But yeah, it's just enjoyed the time this hopple Wednesday morning with Kira. I mean, Kira said the pool's probably like an hour and a half. Tried to swim a couple of laps. So it's good to try and get your lung capacity, you know, up to scratch. But yeah, probably did like maybe 10 laps of the pool. Dog pedal like maybe 5. It was good extension of my legs, man, because obviously you haven't been able to walk properly. But that got me through the rest of the week. And then on Friday night, my son had his first co-ed ball in mainstream school. And man, I felt sorry for me. Like, I think it's because we were so used to him just being able to fit anything. And he's got his go-to fit, man. It's just a black top, white top and black off-white, but he's got heaps of different trousers he can fit. And like he wasn't big on trying to go buy anything. So in my mind, I was like, "Oh, fight this guy's easy, eh?" He keep hounding me the whole week from Monday to Thursday for a haircut. And I said, "Nah, I'll cut it fresh on Friday." So he okayed his hair on Friday, and my wife's been hounding me to cut that mara he's got at the back. But I ended up finding a photo online. I was like, "Oh man, if you can get the finger to braid it like that, it'll look all good." So we spent $20 on him, man. The lady actually charged 10, and I said, "Nah, that's not enough. Give her $20 at least." So he got his hair braided, and I managed to tidy it up. But he loved it, eh? And that guy's got a shitload of perfumes, man. So it wasn't really hard apart from, just worrying about him because, he'd be the mainstream. But apparently the class performed. It was pretty malay. There's any snippets of it on someone's phone that they managed to upload on Insta. But we got to see him. He got to leave early. My daughter picked him up. They came and visited me at work. I appreciated that because, when I was boxing him up, because I didn't manage to do it before he got his haircut. But I was just sort of looking at him and realizing, man, this boy's not a little boy anymore. He's got a full-on moustache. And I'm just trying to blade him up, clean him up. And it's like, oh, man, my boy's a big boy now. Because he smells, the cologne, someone's cologne smells really good. It's like, this guy's going to be... Cracked me up. My daughter said that he was saying bye to one of the teacher rates and the staff, because they obviously walked him out a bit earlier. And he was like, all right, we'll catch you later. Then I heard my daughter say, the man saying, I love you. Like, hey, kick back, relax. You only say that sort of, you say bye to family. I mean, this is autism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I was just grateful that my daughter managed to pick him up and they came and saw me at work. It's the first time I've actually taken a break, man, to manage to get off the platform, go upstairs and waited for him, took some photos. And they needed to get him to apparently like 1 o'clock, even though he left the ball at 10. So I know those two just been cut driving around town. But yeah, just grateful that he had a good time. He only just took his hair out this morning. It's got curly horsetail now. But now, that's been my week, bro. Just looking forward to jumping on this and getting one more last night for the week. But yeah, that wraps up my week, Goose.
Take it.
Man, busy week of sport, eh? Like, shucks, man. I probably started with the NRL game that probably was one of the most classic endings to Golden Point. And then the rest of the rugby they followed suit, man. Like, oh, bro. We're going to have to call it 10 for 10, bro. So you guys pick 5 games each, bro, and spam as much as you want about the sport. But yeah, I'm just going to say congratulations to the two Nefs who won the shield from the team. Oh, bro, we should carry on talking about teams, man, because I jinxed the Naki last week. But check it over you, Princess Cams, bro. What can you make of all the sport that you've watched so far?
Yeah, that Friday night in NRL, that was top
Wow.
4 teams in the top of the table playing against each other. Man, that's like coincidence, eh? Like the schedule allowed for that, eh? Like who would know that the top 5 teams, because not including the Warriors, because the Warriors are top 4 now. The Warriors played the game the next day, but the first game, you're right, that Indian, the Panthers versus the camaraderie, that man, you can't write this as a script, man. Hey,
yeah, it's like laughable. It's like, hey, if someone like told you, sorry, did you watch the game? What happened? Explain that minute or like frame by frame. Nah, get off.
But that's 2 weeks in a row. Because I remember last week, man. Storm bamboozled Penrith in the Golden Point to win the game.
Yeah.
And then now this one, you couldn't have wrote the script because the ball actually hit the post, which allowed Canberra to get at the ball and score end-to-end try to win the game. And man, unlucky for the Penrith Panthers because that's 2 weeks in a row they've lost the game at the death. So I don't know. A lot of people will say it's karma because the way the Penrith Panthers play during the week with all the controversy, especially with the trainer.
Started from him, mate.
Started from him, and even all the controversial commentary about, man, these Penrith Panthers get all the calls, eh? They get all the calls. But no, exciting, man. It's exciting. That game is just a testament to how exciting the NRL is. If you compare it to rugby union, man. Like, anything can happen in the last 10 minutes, right? The All Blacks trying to do that this morning, trying to win the game in the last 10, but, it was over. It was over. But, that's another game. But you're right, man. This weekend there was a lot of games. The Pacific Cup Championship started with Manu Samoa. High hopes, but just went down the drain when they got beaten by Tonga. Man, that was a disappointing performance by Manu Samoa, man. Like, uninspired, they weren't doing nothing. They don't have any game breakers, man. Like, we used to have at least 1 or 2, out there in the back line in there. But, I don't know, man. When you watch that game, if you watch that game, you'll see how good Tonga was, Like, they were structured, they looked structured, their forwards were moving forward, They had Pellegrini there too, and number 10, we know how good he was for Moana, and during the Super Rugby season, he was just doing the same things for Tonga, man. So they got a quality first 5 there. But yeah, man, just watch those 2 games. Watch my man, the Seagulls. They came away with a win at home. The Dolphins scored the first try, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, here we go, another. We're gonna lose again, but nah. I think it was 350th game for DCE, so they had to celebrate that. Yeah, I think we got a mathematical chance now, which is to win our next 2 games. So I'm not sure who we're playing next, but our last game is against the Warriors. So we got to win our last 2 games, and hopefully the Roosters lose again, because I think we're 2 points out from the top 8. So something like that. So a lot of sport. There's also the Women's Rugby World Cup is on right now. I watched the end of the USA versus England game. England smashed them, 69-7. I think the Black Ferns play tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. Their first game. The Wallabies they lost their second test against South Africa. I didn't watch that game. I just saw the results. But South Africa must be happy to win that game after the embarrassing loss last week. So they're in good position to come to New Zealand in the park, I think 2 weeks' time, to play the All Blacks. And man, do you think the All Blacks are going to lose this game after their performance? Because there's a lot on the line. They've got their record at Eden Park since the 90s, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Since the 90s. So it's going to be a hard game against South Africa. So it was interesting if you listen to the commentary at the end of the game, the All Blacks game, they were talking about how bad the All Blacks were under the high ball. The aerial battle was down the drain for the All Blacks. So they were talking about how are they going to fix that? Who are you going to put at the back to combat the high ball? Because they weren't even flash on the high ball against France, even though they beat France. That's probably their weakness, and Argentina just capitalized on that weakness by their kicking game. So they was talking about what the All Blacks have to do. Do you put Caleb Clark on the wing because he's good under the high ball? Do you put Will Jordan on the other wing? And you put someone like Mackenzie at the back or Jordy Barrett at the back? I think there's a lot of things that All Blacks need to work on if they want to beat South Africa.
I basically watched the same games as you, and I agree, man. Like the All Blacks, like we're usually really good when it comes to pressure when time's against us and we're behind by 6 points. But man, we just imploded. Like Sevu Reece trying to go for the ball, just putting one hand out. It's an automatic yellow card. You know, for me, it was just stupid play. Like when you're in the pump under the pressure, it's the simple stuff that works. Going for Hail Marys it doesn't work anymore. But I watched the second half of the Aussie and South Africa game. Aussie played well. They played really well. Despite like being down 10 points at the half, they brought it close. Because usually what happens with South Africa when they lose, the next game they usually put like 10 to 30 points on the next team, you know. But South Africa struggled to put the game away. Aussie played really well, and I think that's good for the competition as well. Like everyone losing one game keeps it quite tight, and it makes those bonus points even more important. So I'm looking forward to South Africa playing the All Blacks, because I think it will be. I had to double check the stats. I think that will be Adi Save's 100th game at Eden Park. So surely they'll step up for that. But yeah, I was cracking up at the league with Canberra Raiders and Penrith Panthers, because earlier that week some of the Panthers were at some school, and I think it was like a book club, and this kid rocked up in those dinosaur blow up suits, and when he walked past the players he unzipped it and he had a Canberra jersey underneath. He was like a 7-year-old, He's just waving his jersey in front of them. But nah, man, I think one of the hidden gems is like Fogarty, just doing the basics, and also Tapine. I think he's just an awesome leader. You know, he's got some old heads around him, you know, Hosborough and Papali. And I think he just leans on those two a lot, and just, you know, leads from up front. And if you play fantasy, you'll know that like those guys just scored high, man, for that game. Yeah, I saw the results for the Manusina Samoa going down to Australia, and It was a bit of a one-sided affair. Australia was just dominating. But the one thing I liked was like both teams kind of huddled in the circle, and usually you don't see that with the bigger teams like Australia, England, even the All Blacks and whatnot. It's usually just a Polynesian thing. But to see Australia and Samoa go in that ring of circle and kind of praise each other for the game, it really spoke to me that like rugby, especially in the women's domain, is progressing quite well. Apart from that, I'm just waiting for the Broncos, who will play later on today, and see how they go, because that'll be an important win for us. Because even though we're in the top 8, it's not secured yet, with the remainder 3 weeks to go. Big ups to the Warriors for getting that win against the Titans, because they really needed that. But man, I've never seen a team being booed in their home field. When the Titans came out, that crowd booed them hard. It was like crazy how much the Warriors' influence is on the Gold Coast, with all the Kiwis that live there. But yeah, apart from that, man, yeah, there's a lot of other sports going on, but just because I didn't have time to even watch the Doggies Storm game, but apparently that's really good. Parramatta with the upset against the Roosters, 30 points to 10, and Sea Eagles. I think everyone in their multis would have picked Dolphins. Seagulls have been, a bit average lately, but to put 58 points against an NRL team, it's crazy. But at the same time, Dolphins put 30 back on, so Seagulls need to pat themselves on the back for that performance, but also just need to keep that defensive line up. But yeah, that's what I've been watching all weekend. Seki.
Yeah. Seagulls gonna welcome Jamal Fogarty next year, man. Because we signed them up, man. We're gonna welcome
him
in our team next week. But man, I just want to point out the good on a silver lining, right? Is Auckland rugby women who wasted Taranaki 30 points to 104, I think it was, 104, 106 or whatever.
Yo.
Got a century on them. That's the only shining light on the weekend of Auckland sports.
Not the cricket score.
Not the cricket score. But yeah, man, that's the only shining light. But man, that just going back to the All Blacks Argentina game. When the All Blacks had those 2 yellow cards, like Will Jordan went out and then Tupo Vae, he went out too, So it was 15 on 13. Man, it was good to see the opposing team with 15 just run at the team with 13. Not give the ball away, because that's what you want, man, when you have an advantage like that. And it was good to see Argentina just run the ball, man. And they did score a try during that time, so yeah.
No, it's interesting, like just like how you said that the Eagles are a mathematical chance, because like there's only like 2 points in between the teams in 13 and then in the top 10, apart from the top 3. But I think Parramatta's one probably like, I think that sort of put everyone like a couple of points apart. But the only sports game that I managed to catch, because I like watching highlights, and that was the Counties and Women's game that was played during the week. But that was some good running rugby, man. That was pretty much right to the death. And I think with the women's game, I like how it's not real complicated. It's literally simple, and they do play ruck for ruck. With some of those rucks, when the play gets isolated, if the tackle's clean, they'll go for the ball, and the refs ref real fairly around it. Whereas you watch the sessional game, because it's so fast, it's like, bro, any other day that's an advantage or a penalty. But no, when you watch the women's play, it's like, it's sort of like in the moment it looks like one play. But that Counties and Waikato game pretty much went right down to the wire, and it was just like, what do you do under the pressure? Do you take the points? Do you tap it? Do you trust your liner? It was almost like the World Cup final, man. But in the end, it was just like the discipline, that they were disciplined like that. Hold the ball, man. It almost was like the NRL. It was like that Raiders and Penrith game, man. It was like, even though the play was set up, it just didn't execute. But then what's the worst thing that could happen? And that's exactly how that game unfolded in the end, This Waikato just pipped Counties in the end. But that was our weekend wrap up. We'll get into our articles. Obviously, the pay negotiations, they went over, split over and the teachers were on strike. Schools probably wouldn't have been. Primary schools is out on Tuesday, and then secondary schools Wednesday. But I spoke to one of the teachers who actually come from a union meeting, and he shared a bit of his mind about it. And he was like saying that, man, some of these politicians are that out of touch. Like, you tell me, if you can name 5 teachers who are on 100K at the moment. Like, that's just crazy. But you would have heard me touch on it. It's when the negotiations get kicked back and your delegate comes back and tells the union members, hey, let's just take this and we'll write it out for the next term. And obviously, it's got to a point where it's like, nah, because obviously the last pay negotiations that happened however long ago haven't really changed the pay grade for a lot of teachers, man. Yeah, who wants to touch that first?
I'll keep this pretty brief because it's kind of self-explanatory. But the government made cuts to the Kahui Ako, relocated funds from that to other specific areas worth 375 million. They also made 565 staff cuts and roles in the industry and in major operations in education. They reduced support for Māori Pacifica vocational students budget by 8%. So the bottom line net impact across the whole education system in the 5-year plan period, they've saved $1.69 billion. And that's within the 5-year time frame. That's how much they've saved. Now, the offer that they've given to the teachers, the government pay offer is 1% per year for the next 3 years. How does that match up? And that's all I gotta say, bro. It's in the math, man. Like, all the money they've saved from all these cuts, and they're just offering 3%, well, 1% per year over 3 years. But yeah, that's all. That's my 10 cents.
I think the important thing for people to know when you read out those stats, Eddie, is whether this government prioritize when it comes to education. Like, they talk about kids that are falling through the cracks, and that's the reason why they're changing the whole system and changing the NCEA into probably the old school way, like the school C, like we used to have it when we were young. So they identified there as a problem. So, but I can't see any way besides pouring more money into it. Like you mentioned, I didn't know about the saving, how much they saved. 1.7 is it?
Yeah, 1.69 across the 5 year.
1.69.
Yeah.
Like you're right. Like as a government, you gotta be transparent where all your tax money goes. Where we're paying the tax, you gotta be transparent into where all that goes. And I think, in my opinion, education is one of the big things on top of the list. All the money should go. Like, most of the money should go, right? When you read out those stats, like, for me, it doesn't make sense. Like, I want to know, where's that $1.69 billion? Where's that going? Until we know that, how do you justify the 1% every year? Now, is it because, I don't know who they're talking about when they're talking about the kids that are falling through the cracks? Is it the kids in the rich schools, or is it the kids in the poor areas, in the poor schools?
Doesn't even match the inflation.
Yeah, I find it alarming that they think because a teacher might be sitting in an industry for more than 10 years, mathematically what they would have thought that someone would be on if they haven't upgraded to get other units, like extracurricular units or more senior role units, that they can think that there'll be teachers out there in the industry at the moment on 100K. Like, that's the thing that blows my mind. And say if it was like you were on a contract with that much, that 1% might look attractive, but what about the entry level teachers? Like, they've done the whole blanket thing again and expected, okay, you should be able to live off that, but if it's nowhere near the cost of living, it's like, bro, that's pretty alarming. Especially because, people who have children and are expecting teachers to educate, that's not a lot of motivation to want to educate when you're getting a fucking pay rise like that. Like, and they're going to say it's every year, but every other year, the cost of living is going to go up. It's not coming down. So you're pretty much just in the same spot. Like, that's not even $40 a week, man. Like, fuck. That's crazy. It's crazy how this government. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how long they last. Whether they even make it through the next election.
Yeah, you got to keep your teachers here in the country. And when Australia is offering more money, you know, all these teachers are leaving, right? They're going to Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just for that, you should. Yeah, even that's a problem.
Yeah, man. Just another job to make this country less attractive, eh? We've got a topic here pulled from Mel Puka, who mentioned about a 37-year-old man who had cancer twice before he passed away, and given a bill that was signed off from, I think it was the ACT Party. This guy got to choose how he wanted to end his last hours on this earth. Did you guys manage to read up on that one?
Yep.
Who wants to go first, man? Because I thought, yeah, it's a deep conversation. It's interesting, but I get it. You know what I mean? I might not say it's like, yeah, I'm all for it, because I know there are different types of way you can be muddy in your lifetime, and you could either be a vegetable, or you could actually ask yourself, do you want to go through the whole living the way it was when you were going through chemo and all that, you know? Yeah. We'll let you go first, Eddie.
Nah, this was a hard one to read through. There was one particular line in the article that really stood out to me was not once did he question why me, instead telling his mum it was just bad luck and he had a good run. So this guy seemed like he was all positive for it, and I was trying to like think about like my opinion through his shoes for a while. And I think as us guys, we, you know, if we're really sick and whatnot, we don't want to put that burden on our families, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And I think he fought it. Like he fought it hard. He did the chemo and everything. I don't know if it was him, just he didn't want to go through it himself. I think in the back of his mind, he was probably thinking he didn't want to put his family through it.
Yeah.
You know, his family watching him going through it. I think he just said, hey, look, I want you guys to remember me for me and not some sick person that's on the bed. And yeah, so my first thoughts was, you know, gotta fight for this Kamaloa, and I actually thought he was quite brave in choosing to end his life. And you know, I'm quite sad that we've lost a person like that, because he seemed like he would have been a person that would have influenced a lot of people around him. You know, with his I thought he had a lot of mana in the way he carried himself in his last moments. But also, you know, from a faith-based kind of view, you know, especially in the Catholic Church, life is sacred, and only God has the power of life and death. But thinking about it, reflecting about it, praying about it, for me, it's like, even though my faith doesn't condone the act, my heart feels for this guy, how brave he was, not only to fight it with all his might, winning, but also knowing that he didn't have the power to put his family through it again. And I think he chose not for himself, but he chose for his family. He dictated his own way to pass, and I know, you know, my God is a merciful God, and will have him easily in the gates of heaven with him. So I hope he finds everlasting peace. And you know, I'm glad that the family have not scorned him in any way and whatnot, and have chosen to always go to the spot where he chose to end his journey. So now, all love to his family, blessings to his family and him, and hope that we can take it as an example of how we should carry ourselves in life without the sickness, you know, and like try and be light to the world. Seki.
Yeah, this reminds me of Robin Williams, how he committed suicide at the end of his life, and only because of the same thing. He went through a heart transplant, a heart thing operation, and he got over that successfully, right? And then a few months later, he had it again. So, you know, the depression of going through that whole thing again with a heart thing, you know, he was depressed about it, and then he took his own life. So, and I'm reminded just a month ago, a friend of mine from work who lives in Raro, he he's a healthy guy, man. He's a healthy guy. He's running around. He's young. He's only 49 years old. He got stomach pain, and he went to check it out, and the doctor said he had pancreatic cancer, and he's only got weeks to live, and he just lasted 5 weeks after that. So, but his last 5 weeks was just in pain. He was at the hospital under painkillers. He couldn't talk for the rest of those 5 weeks, before he passed away. So, yeah, there are situations where you can be terminal ill from the doctor, and there's nothing no one can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it depends on how you want to live that last 5 weeks. If you're on your bed, you can't move, you can't do anything, you can't talk, you're in pain until you die. Like, is that a good way to, So you can understand some of these people when they make these decisions about ending their life under the circumstances, right? So, yeah, it's a very sad thing. But I remember after COVID, we had that referendum, right? It was one for the legalization of marijuana. The other one was the euthanasia one, And that went through. So that's become law now. If you go through a process, go to your doctor. The thing for people to be against it was they didn't want anyone to go through that. If you're depressed and you wanted to end your life, to go through it in a legal way now, you have to go through stuff where you have a doctor's check, and there had to be a good reason, right? You can't just have anyone going through that. So, and I guess like if it's against your religion as well, then that's hard too. So, but I'm all about like freedom of choice when it comes to that sort of thing. If you're gonna end your last days on earth in pain, and there's nothing can ever do about it, then you have a right to choose to have that.
Yeah, this reminded me of that movie, that You Before Me, and a lot of that music's from the Ed Sheeran, and obviously that movie was about a guy who was paralyzed and he had a freak accident. He was walking across the road and got hit by a motorbike, and he pretty much was paralyzed from the neck down. But he was that weak that even his organs couldn't digest the food, and if he had liquid in his system, it would usually get stuck in his lungs, that he'd get pneumonia and his body would just shut down from his internal organs. And through that movie, you get an idea of how someone's living, right? Even though he had all the money in the world, he could travel. His parents got carers to come in, and whether he got on with them or not, but to live your life like that, it's hard, even though you can have all the support and afford to do it, but is it really living,
Quality of life.
Quality of life. Yeah, it probably is. It is a tough subject. Even this day and age, when you go in to have surgeries or like minimal surgeries, right? And you fill out the forms and your spouse is supposed to be there, or if you're filling it out yourself, you might see a DNR on your form, and they would say, like, if you've passed, do they resuscitate you? Especially when someone just had organ transplants or on dialysis machines. It's always a tough talk, because you obviously want the attempt to, come back, or like, but then your quality of life, like, is it really living?
Yeah, especially hard for families that need to turn off the switch of the machine. When some people are just being kept alive, just breathing through the machine at the hospital.
Yeah.
And there's nothing the doctors can do. They call the family in and they say, we can't do anything more. Like, he's only survived by this machine, but even that, he can't talk, he can't wake up. It's hard for those families to make that choice to turn the machine off.
Yeah, that's a tough one, eh? It's always going to be a tough conversation, man. Like, no matter what the situation is. But now it's real, you know what I mean? Because it was never a thing before, but now this guy, he's done it. But how many of these sort of situations are reported or even spoken about? Because this is just one that's just made the paper. I'd like to see the figures on it.
But at the same time, like you guys touch on, like, if it was ourselves, we're more than happy to say, I wish they could turn the machine off. Hey, if it was us on that bed.
Yeah, thinking about burden, like, the burden part.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, that's every hard man's working sort of thing, is not to be up. But mind you, it's like I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to sound palangi or not. But like for myself, like if I'm ma'i when I'm getting older, and I try not to do it now. If I've got bad gout, I try not to put bully on my wife or on my kids, because I don't want them to sort of feel like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do it because dad. Like if I'm sick, let me be sick. Like go live your life, man. Yeah, go and have fun. Go have your fun. Don't worry about me. But yeah, when you know that you've got the options of that sort of stuff, it's like, man, how much bad luck can come my way to actually figure about, contemplating about whether that would be a decision or be on the cards,
I guess that's what we put in our wills, I guess. Or any situation like that, God forbid, happens.
I've got like one contingency plan. It's fucked, but like all the boys agreed to it. If any of us pass away, regardless of circumstance, the phone's got to be smashed. And that's that's a contingency
How about the Facebook
plan.
needs to be deleted?
But yeah, nah, like I think when I went to do my op on my knee, this was my first major operation that they were putting me to sleep, and like looking back on it now, like it seemed pretty stupid, but I probably had like $4,000 in cash, under my mattress. I was gonna leave it for my mum and my sister, like to help out with funeral costs and whatnot. Like the immediate like money that they need just in case something happened there. And then like it feels stupid when I got back home, but at the same time, man, that's a mentality that men go through. Like we always prepare for the worst, always prepare for the worst. And this guy, rest in peace, man. Like he had that in his mind too. And I think like he just I think he like the way this guy was portrayed in the article, I think he would have gone through one more fight. But I think he's just thinking about his family. Like he's like, you know what? I don't want these guys to pick me up from chemo, drop me off, cook me food and whatnot. Like I think he wanted to like, the biggest thing about human nature is being in control. And when you're sick, you're not in control anymore. Like, man, what if I was paralyzed and my mind still operated, but I was trapped in this body? And every day you're watching like your family spoon feed you, or you're feeding through a straw. It's like it sucks, bro. Once you lose that control, you just the quality of life is gone. Just like Leti was saying about that movie where the guy's paralyzed from the neck down. His parents were multi-millionaires, and here he is, traveling the world, and now he's stuck at home because of that motorcycle accident. Like, once we lose that sense of control, it's just like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
No, you're right, bro. That sense of control, because I remember my old man, when my sisters would cook up a fuss about him driving himself. Like if he was driving down to Wellington or Taupo, something like that. Don't know, ever go at him, and he'd be like, say when he got to his mid-60s, or like, and I remember him coming here a conversation with me about, like, man, they'll never get it. I guess as a man then, married man then, was hearing him say, they're talking as if I fucking can't walk.
Yeah.
And I guess when you get to your later 60s into your early 70s and you can still drive, you hold on to it, but it's a little smart remark like, well, I'll drive myself. I bought myself here. I can gladly leave myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I used to hear jokes like that being thrown around, like, can you move your car because I want to go? Like, But yeah, I remember my days always think, like, hold on to stuff like that. It's like when people were trying to treat you as if you're dead, but you're still sitting there. Like, I understand that now, but back then I'd be like, oh, they're just showing concern, Dad. But it's like, no. You never speak to someone as if they're dead in the room, honor them by still treating them like how they are when they're healthy. Always keep that energy, because once you feel it, when it starts happening to you, then you're gonna get it. Because sometimes my kids are like that to me, and I'm like, get out of the way, I'll do it, I'll do it. Don't like it's not. I don't want my kids to serve on me yet. You know what I mean? It's sort of like as you get older, but when you lose your independence, that's for a lot of us men, that's gonna be a tough pill to swallow, man.
Facts.
When you guys talk about human nature, when you lose control, I wonder what the next generation will counter that, because You know, we talked about on this podcast about kids that are on the computer screens playing PlayStation all day. Like we said to ourselves, like, you could literally stay in one place at your house, and all you need to do is sleep and shit and eat, and you can Uber Eats your food. You can go for shit. You can go for a shower. You can sleep, wake up, play on the game again all day, or go on virtual reality, or that metaverse. And in the future, if that happens, it'd be interesting what happens for the next generation or two. What that losing control looks like, because it might be different.
Yo,
20 years, 50 years from now.
turn the Wi-Fi off and see what happens. Eh?
Take it, boys. Comments, Koro. What you got for us, Eddie?
Oh man, it went off. Me and this one guy were just going back and forth having the debate, and I don't know, it got sidetracked so many ways, eh? But yeah, it was good. It was good. A debate between me and him, talking about like the history of New Zealand and like you know, iwi and the wars and whatnot. And most of the stuff that I was posting was basically like I got sourced from ChatGPT, RNZ, also the New Zealand archives. But some of the stuff that he posted up, I tried to search it up on Google and nothing was coming up, so I wasn't too sure on that. But he was respectful. But also I want to make a mention that yeah, not all white people are colonizers. I think we tend to do that whole them versus us. But at the end of the day, it's about we. You know, we got to stand together against like these sorts of people. And also there's a amendment to our topic about Swarbrick, and yeah, with her stuff, it wasn't about recognizing Palestine. It was just to put some more sanctions on Israel. So I'd like to note that that amendment in our last video. But also a shout out to Toasties, Oliveira, Gavin Herring, Jack O'Hare, James Lundy, Vailima, Hayden Bix, and Koko Nati. So thanks to all these people that commented. Leti, you want to talk about the giveaways?
I'll do that at the end, bro.
I'll do that at the end
of our segment, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's it from Comments Corner. Appreciate the comments, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some more back and forth conversations from this video. Seki.
Nice, bro. Now if you would have heard me mention about the regional finals that took place up and down the country. Now this is something that's real interesting, and I would have mentioned the central North Island final. And in these finals, okay, so somewhere Wesley's appeared, but there hasn't been a competition that Wesley College is attached to. Because in the Blues region, we had King's College and Westlake. The Chiefs region, Wesley College and Red Royal Boys. Remember, Red Royal Boys came from the Super 8. And then it was the South Island regional, which was Southland Boys and Christchurch. So that final got played early. So I was trying to find where these guys play, and if someone that listens can actually find it and show us, because yeah, I'll read you the results of the Blues region, and this is probably the upset, and this, I'm just gonna sound funny, man, but the Blues region, which was the winner of the 1A and then the winner of the 1A North Harbour, coming out on top of this game, King's College 24, Westlake 29, man. The boys from the shore, bro. I mean, if that's not a sign of the results and how much playing more games is, because remember, the team that beat Kings during the round robin, Liston College. You know what I mean? So that goes to show, man, like, I reckon either the 1A's got to get cut up or it's got to be redone again. So the winner of the Chiefs region, Wesley College 6, Red Royal Boys 15. So Red Royal Boys go on. The Hurricanes region, and this was for the Mosca Cup, Fielding High 52, Hastings Boys 26. Now see, that's something I don't understand as well. Like Hastings, Red Royal, which is the Super 8 almost. So that's confusing, man. But if someone else can put some info out there, share. And then the Southland region was between Southland Boys Christchurch, which was 32-29 Southland Boys. So the semi-final one will be played between Fielding High and Westlake, and then the semi-final two, Red Raw Boys and Southland Boys. So after those 2 rounds, then they'll have a final, but that game will be played 2 days after they've played. So yeah, I think you can catch that on Facebook thing, Rainbow Live on Sky. But yeah, just interesting results, eh? But yeah, like I said, man, Wesley came out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're playing for the Chiefs region. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Then you got Hastings. I don't know. But yeah, but that's our local sport and news.
Nice as well.
Did you guys see that post from Steve Mackay? He did
No.
it 11th of August. He said, I'm a bit bemused. Continually hearing Auckland schoolboy rugby comp is the best in New Zealand. Dear, oh dear, absolute rubbish.
Well, that's pretty rich coming from a guy who got knocked the fuck out from a dude who doesn't even box. And that guy's got the most things to say, man. That's good on you, Skivvy. We got a memory lane. It was brought in from Filippo. And it's about your most prized CD from before the streaming. So before Spotify, before YouTube and all that. People used to actually go to music shops like ECM Music and Warehouse Music and buy CDs, hard copies. Now, the story of his one was that his older brother took the CD that used to be listened to and played it at the house, left it in the workmate's car, and when he asked the brother, hey, where's the CD? That guy left his brother's workplace. So he took off with the CD. But if you remember far back enough, and if you had like CDs, do you have an album and the name of the album where you bought it from? Start with you, producer Camps.
Man, that's a hard question, man. So, when you talk about, ones that you've lost along the way, I lost my entire a pocketbook of CDs. Like a pocketbook, like everything in it.
That's the first mistake there.
Man, so I remember, but I lost it on the cusp of streaming. So I was kind of glad when Spotify just came out, so I could get all my stuff again. But man, I had my my book of CDs in my car, like playing on
Talk about one of these.
caster.
Talk about one of these.
Yeah,
One of these.
You still,
Damn.
good to see you still got yours. But I lost mine there, man. But I can't pinpoint one album because I love them all, eh? But I was into all sorts of stuff, so hip hop, R&B, and rock music as well. But I remember being a big when they came out, a Linkin Park fan.
Ooh.
So I had all the albums. So that was kind of like the prize thing. But yeah, man, I don't know where my book of CDs are. Eh? Fuck. If I had it back again, some good memories. But you're right, man. Before streaming, man, we had to buy our albums. So I used to go to ECM a lot. And then when I was working in town, like, I always went to Real Groovy because they had the meanest CDs there, like all the old school stuff.
It's just a little bit
album.
gonga.
Yeah. But they had all old stuff too, the old stuff that aren't being sold anymore. So that was good too. So yeah, that's my memory lane.
Yeah, I used to always go to the CD and DVD store in Henderson. I think my top ones would have been like everyone else at the time, like 50 Cent, The Massacre, and The Game, Doctor's Advocate. So I had those. Those were my prize ones. I also had Neo and all these other ones. But I remember at Real Groovy I bought Herbs on CD. Their greatest hits. I had heaps of singles there. I used to buy the singles, and sometimes the singles will have the video clip as well. So I used to check it on my PC and burn it into my PC and have all the videos ready. Shout out to a lot of my boys that listen, man. They used to hook me up with a lot of their CDs, and I'll just rip it straight into my computer, and they make my own little playlist CDs and named them like R&B Mix 1. But also I used to buy like the compilation ones. Now that's what I call music. Yeah. Volumes 1 to 20 or whatever. I also used to get what do you call is it I forgot the name. It's like all the punk rock kind of mixes. I think there's a music industry or something. I forgot the name of the CD, but I used to buy like heaps of them, and they'll be in the folded CDs. There'll be like 3 CDs in each, and I used to rip it. Sometimes I used to go to Avondale markets, and I'll buy a Fabulicious compilation, you know, all the remixes or UB40 and all that. But I think the one that changed the game for me, really, when it came to CDs, was when the also Waylon used to let me come to his house or some of the boys, jump on his PC, and he had internet, and we used to use a program called LimeWire. We used to download straight from the internet into the CDs. Man, we used to make some mean mixes. The only problem was if you downloaded from LimeWire, it always had some dude talking in the start of the song. It'll be like world premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like you're listening to DJ something, bro. And it's like, yeah. And also, yeah, the fob. Oh man, the fob CDs were the best because like I think there was a guy called DJ Tiggles, and this one was DJ Tiggles. It's not funny, it's all about the money. And I was like, oh, let's go. But yeah, man, I used to love making my own CDs, eh? But I think I still got them somewhere out in the garage in the storage container. But yeah, as soon as Spotify came and all that, it changed the game, man. CDs were just outdated. And the iPods, since the iPods came out, CDs start to die, you know, iPod shuffles and all that. Yeah.
You touched something that I remember now, the compilations. 'Cause,
Yeah.
man, I remember I had all the soundtracks.
Yeah.
Soundtracks were me, eh? Like the
Yeah.
Nutty Professor, the Above the Rim
Yeah,
soundtrack.
that
Man.
Professor one was very. Yeah.
Man, those ones, man. Yeah.
Oh, my most prized CD that I ever bought. I actually didn't buy it. My wife bought it for me, but it was the UB40 Greatest Hits Volume 2.
Ooh.
And man, my son can quote that whole album off the top of his head, like in what number. But yeah, that's heavy, man. That's Maybe Tomorrow. That's number 18, like, because that was my jam. And because they never released it as a single, and it took a long time for them to actually bring that onto an album, man. Unless it was UB44, because they never bought that soundtrack here. But it's funny, years later, someone bought it for me for my 21st. So I was cracking up when I got it, and I was just like, "Fuck, you would have thought, eh? Like you had to wait for the greatest hits." That's after Labor of Love 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So when the greatest hits came out, I was like, "Oh!" And that's the picture of them sitting inside the Hounds and Hogs pub. So they took 2. One was when they were like 18, 19. Then the next time they took it was when they were in their 30s. So it was obviously a long time in between drinks when they ripped those. They put those 2 collective CDs together. But no, when you touch on the fast, bro, yeah, Fresh Out the Boat, Volume 6, man, shit, that's probably the greatest of DJ Tickles Peter Guns' work, man. Shout out to those 2 cats still going hard on the DJ scene in Australia. Yeah, there was one mix on there, was the Crusader versus UB40, and that's the Bring Me Your Cup. And that's that, if you know the intros of Bring Me Your Cup, that and it's the Crusader going, how many did you know can roll like this? And then boom, ding, 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 like this, bro. Because that's never been found, bro. Like, of all the Fish Out the Boat you can find online, you can't find that track.
Sheesh.
And then on the back of the album, it's got that, it's on that, it's a Bee Gees song. It's one of the Bee Gees, one of the brothers. They're For So Long. It's also on their album as well. So yeah, that would probably be the best of the Fresh Out the Boat Volume 6. Because I remember when they got too famous, you start going into ECMs like, hey, you can buy ECM. Surely. You see them at Everdale Market, now you see it at ECM Music. Oh, come on.
Let's do a thing. So, what is your Sky Tower top 4 compilation albums?
Ish.
Your top 4. Start with you, Let's.
Shucks. I'll just quickly chuck one in there. Be the Pitch Perfect album when it came out. Because, man, it got my kids. It's because of the songs that is on the movie, bro. Like, man, everyone does that zoom, 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 zoom. You know, so at some point, probably that one, the Fresh Off the Boat Volume 6, and probably the very first Fresh Off the Boat. First time you'd hear, like, the Cook Island music. Get into the, you know, when you hear a UB40 song, then you hear the Cook Island Brother Love. Yeah, probably one of the movie soundtracks. I don't know, the Set It Off one. The Set It Off, their soundtrack. Their whole, bro, all the songs on there are gems. And I don't know.
That's your 4. Isn't that your 4?
5 to make it round it up, man. The UB40, I think it's the greatest hits compilation 1, 2, and 3, man. Because someone bought it for me for my 21st. And like I already had all the CDs, but just the fact that you could get it as a whole gift pack, the Labor of Love 1, 2, and 3, like bro, but it's probably like one of my favorite presents for my 21st. But those would be mine.
How about you?
I think mine would be. I think it was the third or the fourth one, Fresh Off the Boat. They had like that old song, that Moonlight Baby, and it was remixed with I think it was 50 Cent. Man, that was a good mix. Eh? I don't know, like man, in high school it was like Stomp the Yard, albums, Step Up albums. Yeah, it's hard, man. But I think one of my favorite tracks I used to listen to was "Get Rich or Die Trying" by 50 Cent. The album for that movie. Oh man, that hit hard, eh?
Best friend D.
Yo, best friend, man. And one of the funniest ones I used to listen to was what was the guy that played War Machine in Iron Man 1? What's his name? And he talked like this, man. And he released a movie, and he I just like the song because it was crack up, that whoop that trick, whoop that trick. What's his name? Oh man, the actor. And yeah, he asked for more money after Iron Man 1 and got kicked out, and they changed the War Machine to another black guy.
Not the Chance guy, ne?
Yeah,
Chance
Howard.
Chance Howard. Yeah, man. I used to like how he talked like that. Eh? Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro, he's funny.
Yo.
Yeah, I got mainly the movie soundtracks. So Nutty Professor, everyone knew Nutty Professor. The Boomerang soundtrack, that was totally produced by Babyface. That was one of the first R&B soundtracks. What's that on? Above the Rim one. And I'll throw in there the DJ Reminisce compilation album. You remember that one?
I don't think I had it on CD. Maybe on tape. It's like someone dubbed me a dub tape for it.
Mm.
You know?
That one, that was in rotation for me, man. I love that one. And just as a behind the back pass will be the John Olomu.
Oh yeah.
Compilation album.
Yo.
This is probably all the music he heard was in his earphones when he was going to his games, eh?
Even like what you call the Need for Speed Underground, the soundtracks on that, man, they had like guys like Pete Pablo, man, there's some good tracks.
Sticky Boys. Still got a bit of time. Did anyone have a feed review? No. Okay, I got just got a question. Obviously we've touched on it, and I've actually been meaning to bring this up while everyone's been on, but off the cuff sort of question, and just from hearing you guys talk about some of the topics that we're speaking about, but like the weight of a man, and this is more to touch on like the mental health week, and also just the awareness of like what it is to check in with your peers and stuff. But like I'm gonna give you like an expression of the weight of a man, and that's the papole about paying bills, and that we tend to be sort of like selfless when we like think about eating or getting our health in check. But just as an open discussion with you guys, like, are you guys going in to see the doctors when you should? Like when Cam's like when you had that time off and you were mighty, did you actually go sit down and wait as long as you have to wait to see the doctor? Because you took 3 days, you probably need a medical certificate. Like, are you doing stuff like that? And are you actually openly talking about your troubles with your like your day ones, you know? Because when I say I go to have these walks with my two friends, me and the younger bro will talk life and just work. But when he's got to go take his son to soccer, me and my bro Dolo, we will talk life, because our marriages and our kids are sort of similar in age, and that's just a moment of bitch. Like if one of us needs to get something off our chest, or like just go deep into it about like the struggles of just paying bills and like actually trying to live, like it's hard, eh? Because without no judgment, you know, this is just it's a worry, and it's a weight that a lot of men carry, man. And I don't think it's got given like, because you won't see it on social media. I've never seen people post about it, but I know it's a topic, and I think it is a thing. Yeah, man, because I think when I'm at work and I think real hard about it, and I think about my motivation, like I said last week, man, I think about my son with his Chinese little hooded eyelids waiting for me to come home, you know? So it's like, I'm never going to do anything stupid and get in harm's way because I know I want to be back to see that little guy. So, now you're checking it over at you guys, man. Like, give us a little bit of expression about the weight of a man and just in your shoes, man. Start with you, Eddie.
No, man. I'm just paranoid about bills, like making sure they're paid on time, making sure like I'm never like behind. And I'm blessed that I got a lot of support from family and whatnot. But like sometimes like I'm bad, like if I'm just like not feeling 100%, like I still go to work, it's just me, bro. Like I never went to uni or whatnot. Finishing school, I was straight into the workforce straight away. So in working in a butchery, I worked with a lot of the old school managers. These guys, borderline, like some of them would be borderline racist, but like that's the industry. It was rough, like these guys don't even mince their words. If they got a problem with you, they'll tell you straight. And I think they kind of hardened me up a bit, and I just kept working. Like there'll be like chances where like I'll have an injury and I should like go home straight away, but I'll just muscle through it, and just keep working. And then like you get those emails from doctors, hey, you're due for your checkup, and I'll just put it off, and then I'll finally like have a holiday, like a week off, and then I'll go to the doctors. Oh, sorry, I'm late. I was just too busy. Like I'll just make excuses. But I think in the last 3 years, I've like kind of like slowed down and just kind of like made sure I'm making the appointments. And like two of my boys, Sapiti and Vaughan, we've been trying to make an effort of meeting up at least once a month, and we'll go for dinners. And the last one, Sapiti he just paid for the whole thing, and it's usually one or the other that will pay for the dinner, and we just keep rotating. And because I lost my brother to suicide, I think that's kind of brought us a little bit closer and made our conversations like more honest. Because before it was like, you meet up the boys and it's always like, nah, I'm all good, it's all good. But now it's just like we kind of open up a bit more. And it's funny, like you open up and you're vulnerable, and you're sharing some of your most darkest like thoughts in your mind. And when we head back home and we all get dropped off, get back home, it's like it just closes up again. It's like we're in armor. I think like all men just wear armor, and we don't show anything, like we don't reveal anything. Like it's just there's still that mentality that if you share something, you're weak. But what I've learned lately is like revealing yourself to people leaves you exposed. So that's why you have to choose the right people to open up to. I think that's why guys out there who open up their dark thoughts kind of get burned, because they open up to like the wrong people. I'm not saying like their wives are wrong, but sometimes it's one of those things that only a man will understand another man when it comes to thoughts like that. And females, they love us, they look after us, but like some of the issues that we go through, they will never understand, because we are the providers. We are the ones that are willing to, in a sense, jump on the barbed wire so that others can cross over us. So yeah, I'm still on that, learning how to open up and whatnot, but I think prayer helps a bit. But yeah, that's just me and the boys, and how we deal with like our trauma, and slowly accepting that, hey, we're not young anymore. We got to keep up with these these doctor's appointments and whatnot. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm there 100% of the way, but we're getting there slowly. But yeah, I think that's the thing that all men will understand. Yeah. Seki.
Yeah, I think for me, like you you said it. It's like when you talk about health and that. Like I think the weight on me is realizing or thinking about my own health. like you said, we're getting older, man. We're not young anymore. I think when you pass your 40th, that's when your body starts to like, I don't want to say fall apart, but it's the beginning of doing extra to look after yourself, eh? Like, it's not there's one day a week to, do some exercises. Like now you're gonna do it like 3 or 4 times a week now to just keep up,
Yeah.
But I think for me, like, because I'm always been type of guy that when it comes to being stressed and that, like I've always, like even when I was a kid, like I've always been the guy to cut the stress. If things get too stressful, just fuck it, just cut that away and just do it again, or just leave it behind and just carry on because it's not worth the stress, And I've always had that attitude, But I think sometimes you can't really do that anymore. You gotta face up to it. And what I mean by that is like with me, the whole health thing. Like if you said I was at home for 3 days, I didn't do anything. I didn't go to the doctors or do anything because I knew all they'll say is, "Oh, well, next booking is 3 weeks from now." It's like, man, I'll be at work. I think for me, in my head, in my brain, I'm sort of thinking like I'm dodging the bullets, like not doing anything about it. Just thinking, oh no, I'll get over it and I'll be all right. You can do that so many times. You can do that so many times. So I think I'm just conscious of that now. And I think that being a weight for me, because if I'm not here, what's going to happen to my family, Like who's going to be there? So I got to think about that now. So yeah. It doesn't seem much to anyone. For me, it doesn't seem much, but it's something that's on my mind a lot, especially the last 2 or 3 years. So, and it's that whole same story. I'll start next week. Eat healthy, go for a walk. Just go for a walk, man. Go for a walk. Cut out the junk food. Cut out the sugar. Sounds easy in your head, but it's not. Well, it's not easy.
No, it's life challenges,
man. And then, and that's what I mean. It's that, okay, I'll start next week. I'll start on the 1st of August. I'll start on the 1st of September, It's the same story. You just got to do it because you think you're invincible because nothing happens. So you think you're all right. And it doesn't help when people around you are dropping too, man. Like, when your friends are leaving this world and you're like, how the hell did that happen? You think about it and like, it's like, damn, is that a sign? People family, friends, when they start leaving this world, it gets to your head too. Like, man, am I next or, what I have to do to carry on? So,
hello, boys. Yeah, I just thought, just hearing over the week, because, the negotiations of pay with like the teachers. And then when you mentioned last week about the love and stuff like that, and like even like just having my son's ball, these are like all costs, right? And what are they? They're like just out of the blue sort of things that, oh shucks, that's right, this is this week. But like as a guy who carries that weight as well, it's sort of like, man, when people are like losing their shit or they're in a dark place sometimes, one of those worries, man, and it could be like, it's just like that pot of water boiling over on the pot, man. When it's when it's ready to blow its lid, man, it's like, I think the importance of sort of weighing this or having this sort of weight on you is to remember to offload it, Like it helps to talk, man. Given like any opportunity, and like that's also to the listeners and to the viewers as well, man. They never feel like it's something that can't be spoken about. A conversation is a lot easier to sort of open up than it is to sort of open up that that crack of like someone in the deepest, darkest thoughts, bro. Because unless you open up, unless you give yourself the time to sort of like have a good think about what you want to get off your chest to sort of open up the conversation, man, like have a good think about it, man. Because there's nothing that can't be like untangled in your mind, especially when it comes to like your thoughts. Maybe it might be just as simple as picking up the phone and messaging someone and ringing them and asking them how they are. generally like the weight of whatever you think you're going through is not as hard as what it is, man. And like, yeah, cut the stress, bro. It's not worth it, you know. But nah, yeah, sharp words for that shit. Just thought that was just something that I just thought, oh, chuck it in there just to just to hear how everything is. But yeah, we got our Fia Poko of the week, man. Yeah, but I play our features. There's quite a few too, eh? I don't know if these what the internet is coming to.
Fiopoko started to be like a virus.
Oh man.
Oh,
Not the
no.
tourists, right? So when obviously there's a pool and then a secret, what seems like a secret space,
Yeah.
and then there's that one person that decides to actually I'm gonna go put my feet in this clean as water when there's a barrier that's stopping you from going over it, and you just go put your feet in there. Wow, there's probably a sign somewhere that someone's covering, eh? That's straight for your boko right there. Who does that? When life is voggling and you're too busy concentrating on the food, and then some Fiopoko drives their car through the window. What the fuck is that, man? This probably is a classic, man. It's a little girl. She's obviously showing her auntie the birdie finger. And man, I imagine me. This is me. If I was having my nieces and nephew over and they were doing the fingers to me, I think this is something that I would do, eh? Ring the police.
You're gonna turn the police sirens on when you're pulling in my driveway? Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Officer. Okay, bye. They're coming to get you and your mama.
Hello, they're not coming.
They're coming. He said he's getting the sirens. You're going to hear the police sirens when he comes. So you better be listening for them sirens.
This girl has zero belief, say.
I don't hear them.
Here they come.
I love kids, bro. I honestly
She's
do.
over here. She's over here.
But man, when I saw that, I was like, I gotta do that one day. Someday I'll do that to one little smart ass kid that comes over to my house, honestly. And there's a couple more. There's one of a guy who's obviously had bullying happen to his daughter. So he had to go take care of business himself, man.
7-year-old girl who had to watch me and my brothers jump her daddy after school. I'm sorry. I know that was probably a traumatizing experience for you. But we kept asking you to stop bullying my daughter and you wouldn't listen. We sent letters home. We even had a meeting with you and your parents and you wouldn't listen. So now you know your actions have consequences. And since you're too young to receive those consequences, you had to watch your daddy take those consequences. Get some therapy. You'll be all right.
Yep.
You'll be all right.
That's right.
Makes sense, eh?
It makes sense, man. Teach your kids, man. Teach your kids at home before they go into the school. There's a couple more here, and this is what, bro, it's just typical, bro. Someone's trying to practice their swing, you know, a baseball swing. If you're gonna do that, go do it in a space where no one's around you, right? But bro, you just cannot make some of this shit up, bro. Like, silly. Like, go swing somewhere else, man. Like,
Ooh.
the Fiopoko is the guy doing the swing action. Why would you do that with someone's? Fuck's sakes, bro.
Damn.
And this last one here is the most classic thing. This is what you call celebration 101. Don't be stupid. Like, don't be that guy. But you know, just be humble. You know what happens to get the goal, high five, walk back to the halfway. But nah, this guy just took it to the next level. And bro, that's gold, bro. Like when I saw it happen, I was like, nah, it's Indonesia Muhammad Mirza.
Yeah.
So he jumps over the fence and he tries to run the crowd, but he has no idea there's like a story drop from the field to the crowd. It's like 5 meters away, and he ends up falling like to his.
He was lucky. There's nothing else there, eh?
Wow.
Imagine if there was a pool full of sharks. They just keep it humble, bro. Keep it
What if
humble.
it was
eh?
deeper than that?
Yeah, he's
I'll tell you one
lucky it
thing.
wasn't even deeper.
They won't have a problem with streakers, eh? That stadium.
Yeah, hard.
Yo, facts. Yo.
But yeah, bro, when I saw that, I was like, damn, that's Fiopoko to the next level. Check it back at you guys, man. What's your which one of these Fiopokos are actually freaking this week's Fiopoko?
That's a tough one. Like there was three like that I like was that last one. So like he's lucky he didn't like land on his neck or something. Like oh bro, like you can see when he jumped over that second beam, he was trying to catch himself, but it was too late. He was falling down.
Yeah.
The other one was the Uber Eats guy trying to make his own drive-through through that restaurant. So like, come on, man. But nah, the guy that him and his brothers bet up that bully's like dad, because I know for sure that once the dad comes out of the coma, he's gonna hit the hey, I told you not to bully, but man, that's I get it, but at the same time, like damn, that's traumatizing. Shucks.
That's what you call the next one up mentality.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
Let's literally go to the source.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah. Going to the source.
Yeah. But the end of the message, like, you'll be alright. Oh, bro. Yo.
Do you have one, Cams?
Yeah, I'll give you mine to the soccer player.
Yo.
Come on, bro. Like,
Keep it humble.
you know
eh?
what would be dumb if he did that and they were losing by 2 points still. You know, if the score was 5-1 and that was their only goal they made.
Yeah.
But then he should have known. Like, man, wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3-way tie here. Eh? I'm gonna go to that guy doing the baseball drill with the bat. Like, cause I've seen how kids warm up, man. They're usually behind the cage, out of no one's there. But this dude's like he's facing him. Like he's facing him. It's like, bro, this dude might turn around or walk back into you. Freaking move out of his way, and he gets him in swing range. Like, come on, yeah, man. They look like it hurt, eh? Cause they literally got him in the head, man. But yeah, that's our 3-way tie for Fia Poko of the week.
Yo, sick.
Shot, man. It's pretty much running up our episode. But before we end our night, we're probably gonna draw this West City shoe prize. So I've got this, and there's about 8 contestants. And thank you for those who commented and shared the West City page and followed, tag someone in it and the WesWes Network. So I'm gonna draw it out. Ooh, that's one here. I'm gonna show you.
Yo.
Whoever the lucky winner is gonna get a store credit, man. But I hope it's my name. So we'll be in contact with you in the next couple of weeks. Bro, honestly, to who? To the Cams, man. Go get you a pair of shoes. Cams 1-on-1, man.
Yo.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, bro. Shot. You pretty much won our draw. But yeah, looking forward to meeting you down at West City Shoes. That's pretty much our episode, man. For the Tongan language week, we'll finish up with some final words. Let's go, producer Cams.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Into the clip again. Man, it took me so by surprise of that vulnerability topic. Yeah, like had to scramble and think of something.
Yo.
But nah, man, it's all true. It's all true and honest. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on, and thanks for everyone to tune in and listen. And yeah, last words, just catch me on the Channel 135 podcast. We're gonna do episode 5 of Chief of War on Monday, and me and Eric will do Alien Earth on Thursday. Yeah, thanks.
Yo, I wrote those down, and like I had to change a few times, but like I wrote down in my prayers I ask for strength to face what I cannot, yet in the same breath I give thanks for the blessings already in my hands. So for me it's just praying for help, but also at the same time being thankful for people around me. Sicky.
Oh, my bro. I appreciate that. I know that that little topic there was spun on above his, but onto his, like, just off the cuff. But I wanted to touch on that and also just share this last words. I saw a video and a guy was just talking about the weight of a man, and he summarized this by if you're not willing to share, this is what the person who's waiting for that load feels. So he replied, I'd rather carry the weight of your tears on my shoulders than carry the weight of your casket. Being a man doesn't just mean shut up and work. Doesn't mean you gotta be bulletproof. It doesn't mean you never get to speak. Being a man means you get to be the light for other people. It means you get to guide the way. But it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. So that's my final words. You know what it is, get it late to none of it. So fans, man, that's another episode for the books, man. Be sure to find more of our stuff on our webpage. Also find our 135 Film and TV channel on YouTube. You can also catch the boys on the 135 Footy show and catch a lot more of our content on our streaming networks. So if you made it this far, smash the like button, give us a like, subscribe and share. This then empty out the clip for Tongan Language Week, where we give our Pacifica point of view in one shot, no retraction. That about does us, boys. Let's get the fuck out of here. Toke sio.